This is take number 2. My last video was abruptly interrupted by a massive sneeze. Nearly suffered whiplash at the end of it. So if my eyes are a little bit red, it's just I'm after having a monstrosity of a sneeze. Anyway, getting back to it, what my video today was about was something I've really learned and experimented with powerfully this year, which is what I call my HAIL philosophy, H-A-I-L, which is heroic all-in living. And living, the L can be interchangeably used with love. Heroic all-in love of life, love of the moment, love intensely what is happening in your life. Amor fati, as I think Nietzsche said, is just the love of what is. And it's all in. It's just leading with my heart and my soul on the table and not holding back emotionally. Now the backstory of this, which I think like a lot of guys can resonate with, is for so much of my adult life, second half maybe of my childhood, when I got sort of all these psychological ways of dealing with life, I was coming from one part of the extreme where I could distance myself. You know, I had this sort of rational mind, an analysing mind. I sort of hid behind this role of progressively becoming like a philosopher, love of wisdom, which is really wonderful. You know, I started like really getting into self-help books, I don't know, 12, 13, 14 years ago, which my rational mind, the magician part of my intellect, used to love it, because with all of this massive increasing knowledge and wisdom, I could analyse and see a bit in my own life, bit more in the beginning anyway, to see in other people's lives where the solutions were for the problems, and then eventually getting into coaching, etc, etc. Now this is a superpower, don't get me wrong, you know, to have a library of wisdom and more and more, you know, experiential know-how in the application of that wisdom and concepts and ideas that, you know, have really helped me out in the thick of really intense situations. Cool, wonderful, superpower. Don't want to sort of speak down on that. However, I was holding myself outside of the fire of life, outside of, you know, in intimate relationships. There'd be a distance there. In parenting, distance there. You know, with powerful, really emotional people, a distance there. I was just staying at a distance. Didn't realise it, you know, but I was doing it. I realised that. And it wasn't until frustrations with, you know, my wife Matilda, she's a passionate, unapologetic, really emotional Italian woman, Latino lover. She's fucking like, the more and more she does her inner work and becomes truly completely herself, it's a hurricane, she's a volcano. And that's beautiful. But my rational mind couldn't fucking deal with that shit. Like, struggled to get up to speed with it. And then my girls, they're sort of 5 and 9, and the 9-year-old getting deeply emotional and struggling to get up, you know. So this rational mind was sort of struggling. Then it's sort of in life, you know, in projects and in work and engaging with powerful guys, I just found that more and more, and it really came to a head this year in so many different ways, where the rational one of just, yeah, I just duck and dive, and, you know, the rational mind, the risk management part of my psyche, was really just effectively ducking and diving, because it was like, if you jump in and you jump in at the deep end, you jump into the fire, you get fucking hurt, Mark. So it was like ducking and diving, keeping me from getting hurt. However, you know, if you're resonating with this, if this is part of your mind and you're not engaging fully, okay, if you don't jump into the fire of emotions, the fire of something like a scenario that's a bit unpredictable, a bit risky, a bit fucking like that's really far out for you, or seems far out in the moment, cool, you're safe where you are. But safety, emotionally speaking, is I don't drop into the egoic death zone where there's absolute humiliation, devastation. Okay, you're safe. But if your psychological system is set up to prevent this, it also, by natural default, prevents you from this. Skyrocketing up. Bliss, joy, massive love, enormous appreciation of life. If you are protecting yourself from this drop, cool, you don't get this. You prevent this, you don't get this. That's the only thing that you take home from this video. That's going to be one of the most impactful things. When I realised that, and progressively, I knew it intellectually for a number of years. This year I just realised, Mark, fucking start playing all in. because when you play all in, I put my heart, my soul, everything, just learning to lean into that fire. Great mate Colin, just fucking by default, he's the opposite end. He's fire, fire, fire. Maybe his path is like to learn a little bit more from my side. My side was hyper rational, not in the fire, is to nudge into the middle. Such a great gift. So, my invitation to you guys is if there are situations in front of you, and if you resonate and you sort of find that there's paralysis by analysis, you're sort of keeping on the outside, you might be gossiping or saying little commentary about these people, you might sort of have these things or projections of people, the real passionate one, the one in the middle of the crowd, the one you'll project on leaders, people that are actually doing it. If you find that is happening, it could be a sign that you're mad. There's a massive spiritual impulse in you. There's a seed that wants to be watered into a fully fledged oak tree in you that, but the only way you'll do it is walking over that gauntlet of fear and actually putting your heart and soul out there. Yes, there's a risk that you get dropped down because failure, challenges, errors, mistakes, that happens when you go at something you love. But guys, when you risk that, you open yourself up to experience the full splendor, the joy, the beauty, everything that is good about being a human being. You open up to that. My absolute belief, if you're following these videos, is that every man has within him a revolutionary spirit. But to be a revolutionary spirit and lead your personal revolution, your local tribal revolution and a global revolution, you gotta put your heart and soul into it. That's risky business. Not many men do it, but look, I'm here unapologetically. My whole point and purpose is to speak from my heart and soul. And with anybody that comes into communication with me, any man, is that, the point, the purpose and intention is to, first of all, live and die without regret myself, and by natural effect, help ye guys just model it in a way that you will feel inspired to do so also. Maybe it's not for you. That's cool. There's other videos. There's an ocean of them out there on YouTube. But this is high vibrational. This is heart and soul on the line. So, concept is HAIL philosophy, which is heroic all in living. Heroic all in loving. Loving life. Unapologetically. Getting stuck into the fire of it, heart and soul and emotionality out there, vulnerable as fuck, but only when you do that can you get to the highs, with the odd few lows, but screw it. What I found is it's worth it every single time, and I only get more powerful after I take a low. It's an all-in win, guys. Love you lots. Have a super fantastic day. We will chat with you again soon.